To say that Ni no Kuni is all over the place would be an understatement. It hardly feels like a movie at all. It's more like the outline of one, or like one of those season recap videos you watch before continuing on to the latest season of a show. Tons of ideas are being thrown around, yet none are being given the chance to organically take root and grow. You are sort of main character? Anyway, he's confined to a wheelchair. He's forced to sit on the sidelines while his best friend Haru plays basketball. When Haru and Kotona want to go to a recommended restaurant, Yu stays behind because he can't climb the stairs to get there. He heads home and, instead, climbs into his bed in what might very well be my favorite moment of the film. It's a nice quiet scene in an otherwise chaotic movie, in which you feel the weight of his struggles. But nothing comes of this disability. When Yu is transported to another world, he doesn't even notice that he's walking on his own two legs until Haru points it out to him. They hug and the matter is dropped. There's no big adjustment, no sense of wonder at the life-altering change. Nothing about Yu's prior crippled status impacts the characters or story from here on out, rendering that initial obstacle meaningless. That's a pretty big problem throughout this movie. Things happen without drastically affecting the characters. Major occurrences aren't treated as major occurrences. Wasn't Kotona just bleeding out in Haru's arms? No big deal. We've got a fantasy world to explore now. Look, the two friends are just realizing that they're inexplicably excellent swordsmen. Here is Yu discovering he has magical powers. Here's Haru realizing that him and Yu are... that's confusing. Anyway, this is when he realizes that they're basically the same person, but from different worlds. That's it. In each of these situations, the characters embrace the changes without questioning what it was that brought them about. Until of course the plot demands otherwise, and the friends find themselves trying to kill one another because... reasons. Sure, Kotona is important to both of them, and using her as a catalyst, that does make sense, but she's not in immediate danger. She's been given 3 months to live. They have plenty of time. Why not work together to figure out the truth of how people are connected between worlds before jumping to drastic conclusions? But I guess the plot needs to progress somehow, and boy do we get an overabundance of plot leading into the final battle. This is where the writing gets increasingly lazy and dumb. Like how our hero realizes who the real enemy is by recognizing that he smells like the dagger that poisoned the princess. When was that established?
My scent, you say? How preposterous. You're trying to incriminate me over that.
You know, I'm starting to think this film is entirely aware of how absurd it is. But acknowledging faults doesn't negate them. There is a lot of new information being added even as things start to draw to a close. Information that becomes increasingly bizarre. Magic has a smell now, apparently. Fine. Not sure why this wasn't brought up earlier though, given its importance, but whatever. The minister guy to the royal family is also secretly the leader of the Black Banners, who are now trying to overthrow the kingdom. And it seems the princess is filled with vast amounts of untapped power that he's trying to acquire in order to claim his rightful place as king, because he's actually the current king's older brother. Yeah, apparently he was killed by his own father but brought himself back to life using the bodies of demons and... Wait, why the heck is all this being introduced through a long monologue at the very end of the film? What am I even watching here? This isn't even the end of the villain's rambling. He goes on about a whole bunch of other nonsensical stuff that's never been hinted at before. And the whole reveal that Yu and Haru are the same person, sort of, that lost me. They're very different people, both in appearance and personality. Why is this twist even here? How is Yu alive, given that he's apparently been living in the wrong world since he was very young? Is he a wayfarer, or was the princess wrong about the dangers to regular people? When did Yu learn magic? When did the old man steal the Morn Star? What are the rules for traveling between worlds, because they seem very inconsistent? Why does the story shift to Haru when almost everything up until the final moments is focused on Yu? Does Haru even have a discernible character arc? If there's one in here, I totally missed it. In the end, this movie clearly bit off more than it could chew. Maybe it should have been a TV show. There's just too much that it's trying to cram into a single film. Almost everything of importance is being told to us because, frankly, showing takes longer, and that makes things quite boring. Ni no Kuni has decent animation. It's got this Studio Ghibli-esque design. There are some very promising elements in here, but the movie fails to deliver on almost every level. Anyway, these are just some of my thoughts on this film. Feel free to agree or disagree down below, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.